Hello. Um, all right. So where I left off, there was sort of like a I don't know, a forest of like trees, monsters. Just sort of there aren't any stalks to the trees, just sort of stumps. They're like dark, sort of creatures, and they have these sort of root pieces. They're saying this is a huge deal. There's even deeper layers to even this. There's even a really deeper layer. They also have sort of roots into what is like a river of darkness, and sort of darkness flows from somewhere. They're saying human emotions sort of feed these flows of sort of dark tar rivers, where they feed off of this. They're sort of like parasites that really find sort of the energy of suffering to be really delicious, and so they influence suffering. And then sort of chaos is sort of their way. They're sort of trying to, one of them is just trying to communicate with me. He's sort of like checking out what is around my head. But I don't need him. I just sort of fill with light so that he can see that it's sort of and now he's shrinking. He's sort of they're just sort of like they notice me, and now they're all gravitating towards me like really hungry monsters. And they can't do anything because I'm literally like a nightlight in their realm, and they know that I'm human, but they aren't able to feed off of any of my any lesser energies. In fact, the more they try, the more I just fill with unconditional love, and then it shrinks them, and they can't. They keep trying. I'm just, there's a much deeper realm though. It's even deeper than all of these. There's really a massive sort of structure that's even trying to come up now from the ground and even breaking all of this stuff apart. They're like, do you know what you're seeing? And I was like, I don't know. Some of the times these things just get unrooted, you know what I mean? And this doesn't have a connection with Maria anymore because so much has been healed now. It's sort of like some other thing that I need to journey and do on my own time. But I do. So it's important that we continue to keep healing each other. It's important that we continue to keep helping each other. And it is important that we choose to see people as expressions of spirit. Not to be judgmental of others, but actually to choose to love everybody. You have to love everybody. Even the most evil expressions in the universe actually just need somebody to look them in the eye, and then love them. Those two scoundrels from the healing I did on Monday, those two have visited me a few times, and then so that I could help transform them, and in the process of filling them with unconditional love, that is when I discovered again another sort of one of these types of monsters. Because they have such an influential way. Not only are they sort of feeding on these sort of dark tar flows, they also sort of have this inspiring way to transform you from being sort of an expression of light to an expression of darkness, and then exploring a different way of being. But they are sort of so manipulative, and then when these souls detach, they're sort of like, wow, what happened to me? Why was I? It was almost like they were possessed by darkness itself, and a darkness that comes from a very deep layer even. I'm still working on this. I'm gonna have to come back to this journey a different time. They're like, you can't just leave this, Abby. You have to do something now. It's like, man. So all I could say is just like a giant leg. But it has sort of a rhinoceros horn, was the first thing that sort of broke apart this realm with all these sort of tree things that are just trying to feed off of me, but I'm just sort of this bright light channeling from source. So there's nothing for them to feed on. I'm just bright light. And so I just sort of shining it really bright and bright and brighter, and they can't enter into me at all. They can't possess me. They can't do anything. because I'm an expression of source, right? I'm an expression of unconditional love that is against what they feed off of and makes them they just can't do it. They just can't. But they won't stop trying, which is a unique thing. Usually they stop trying. They leave me alone, but these ones will not stop trying. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just waiting right now. Sort of these things trying to suck off of my. They're just trying to get in, but they aren't. All right, so I'm just gonna call Archangel Michael to come, and then we'll see what we can do here. This is a big deal. So Archangel Michael's sort of on the scene instantly, because when you call him, he's just instantly there. Whether you can feel him or not, when you call Archangel Michael, he was there before you could finish saying Archangel Michael. Like, he was there before you finished saying Arch. Just the thought of him is instantly his signal to be there. There's infinite numbers of Archangel Michaels, so if a billion people called him at the same time, there would be a billion of him. So you cannot run out of Archangel Michaels. So he's here with me, and he seems to know what to do. He has this sort of sack that he carries, and he sort of likes to put things in it of a darker version. Allow them to transform. It's sort of like this infinite bag, but it's just a small little bag. Like, it's just like a little sack, but you could fit infinite in this little sack. So he's sort of like flying around and scooping these all up, and he's like getting them away from me too. It's sort of like even them on this sort of white light is still not good, and so he's scooping them all up, and then he's getting all of them. There's just so many, but they're all going into his bag. This was really important. I came into this realm and am doing this because this sort of huge darkness needs to be dealt with. And so I'm going to... So I'm just waiting. He's just getting them all. There's sort of... he's pulling them out. So there's so many. There's sort of like black bubbles now. There's just this is a big deal. There's some sort of huge light coming down now from heaven. It's like literally a profound super. They want me to go into the super light because they don't want me to carry any of this stuff back with me. So I'm in the super light and it's just washing over me. The super white light too is now Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White is on the scene. He's like the super awesome healer. So we're just going to start seeing him all the time these days because I just sort of, there's sort of like this awesome like white light, heaven light, super healing experience. So there's sort of like this blasting of white light going everywhere. And it's sort of like my soul and even my physical form is sort of just in this sort of white light. And so I'm just letting them. So hold on. Let me just wait a minute while I just let everything happen, okay? And then I'll tell you what all happened. So... And now I'm spinning really fast. And then it's sort of in this white light, and it's sort of projecting light, but it's also sort of like healing me in a really big way. It's literally like I exposed this wound as sort of this space that needed to be exposed. It has to be done. They can't just go in there. It has to be chosen. You have to choose to go in and heal these places for them to then get healing. Otherwise, if you don't choose, now all of a sudden they just stay like that until you choose. Sometimes things just cycle out and then they just transform on their own. But some things you can actually interject on by choosing, and then now light can enter. And they said that by me just choosing to then heal this, now we are healing this. And they're saying that I chose to ask for help instead of doing it on my own. And so now Archangel Michael's here, and now we have this sort of blast from heaven. And then... And then Gandalf the White's here, and it's just sort of this like so there's sort of like all these like white spiritual things are just pouring in from this white light now, and everything is just, it's just sort of like cleaning up. It's sort of like maybe you found a secret door, and then on the other side it's like, whoa, there's a whole new room in here, and it's like totally dirty and gross, and I need to clean it, and now I'll have a clean, awesome room, and it's a secret room, which makes it even cooler. They're just sort of like, oh, we opened the hatch, now let's go do the cleanup work. And they're opening up deeper hatches now, even sort of into the ground, and there's sort of like these swamps of like dark tar. It's time to dry all this stuff up. Because human beings have been suffering enough. It's sort of, this is the time now that now we get to do all the cleanup work and release all the darker reflections, so now that love can pour onto the planet and heal everybody. So the more these dark hatches I can find, now the more healing we all experience, right? So I'm not just healing Maria, now Maria and I are healing everybody, because she chooses to open her soul up to me so we can find these things. I gotta find these darker spaces so I can heal them. It's part of my job. So I'm just letting them do all the work while I'm just sort of here. There's still this sort of huge like vine, but it's like a leg, but it's sort of like a vine. And nobody's done anything to that yet. They're still asking me to move on. They're sort of like, we got this now, so we'll just take it from here. Sort of like the angel and I mean, I could just stand here for the next several days and watch while they just do everything. So it's more like I can just go back in a couple days and check to see what it looks like later. So I'm just telling them to, please heal the space, really, release these dark, it's sort of like, I don't really know what all this is, but heal all this stuff. and then we'll just come back later. So let's do the next thing. So they're wanting me to go back and see what everything is. So this Mother Mary figure with the pond and all of that. So they're wanting me to manifest. It's sort of like that dream and that whole echo and that whole experience is just sort of like a black void, which is sort of like a page ready to fill with color. And so you get to choose now. The memory is sort of contained within the history of memories, right? So the soul doesn't have the attachment, because we've allowed you to see or reveal that sort of painful echo. So now you understand, and that alone is what heals these places. And so I'm also going over here. Sort of man is out of a black cloud, and he's sort of because he's still sort of suspended. So he's out of the black cloud, and he's sort of breathing, sort of coughing, like he was breathing in toxic air, and now he can breathe in fresh air, and he's literally turning into a white light now. That whole chaos is with the world and the vine and the lady and the everything is just, it isn't there. But this space is still here, where the yellow bird took the octopus, and the guy is just turning to white light. So even this world needs to be sort of dissolved. So I'm just using red spicy light energy on the walls and everything, and then I'm just watching the walls and everything just evaporate or disappear. It's sort of like love acid. It's so like hot and spicy and just loving. It just burns away the walls, because they're just not necessary anymore. We don't need walls. We don't need this realm. We don't need the attachment to this memory. So everything's sort of evaporating, and I'm just washing all of these sort of voids with white light. And I'm asking then white light to fill them with unconditional love, these sort of dark voids, so that way the vibration is now a reflection of unconditional love instead of like stale air, you know what I mean? So it's sort of filling with this. It's sort of like a sponge, a void sponge that is now filling with unconditional love light. They're saying that Maria is going to experience a profound alteration in the way that she feels, and just the overall joy she feels. So everything is just filling with this sort of love. And it feels really good inside of me, too. So I'm filling with this unconditional love light. It's awesome. They're wanting me to go back to the store where the angel and the girl were, and there's just so much relief. And even the angel just sort of looks like a woman and not an angel now. The wings aren't there, and it was almost like she's wearing mascara, and then it was just going down the cheeks because she was crying. And she's turning into a yellow light even, and finding a lot of peace now. And this sort of girl is just also just part of the white light. This yellow, so they're saying that, so it's like a butterfly for Grandma Raquel, but it's really like she's like a yellow bird or a yellow light or something. And it honestly feels like there's a real relationship between Grandma Raquel and this angel that was holding the girl, and then this yellow light that came down and then touched the sort of octopus and turned it to stone and broke it, and then we had sort of Virgin Mary image. This is all very real for your soul. And I just feel like Grandma Raquel is a sort of extraordinary presence about her, because this is it. It's how I'm experiencing her. Sort of wowzer is the feeling of like, whoa, she's really neat. She's really unique. Everybody's unique. It's just when it hits me, it's like, wow, that is really unique. But every time it's like, wow, that is really unique. It never isn't, wow, that's really unique. Every soul is like, wow, that is unique. Every spirit guide is like, whoa, I love that spirit guide. It's not like that spirit guide is kind of eh. All of them are like, whoa, that was cool. I don't find it's like these things aren't like eh. They're like, wow, that's really cool. I don't know why. It just feels like really awesome, everything does right now. Just like happiness, like we should all fill ourselves with yellow light and just go dance and celebrate and just be merry. Because it is like Cinco de Mayo, right? So let's just go celebrate and have fun. But it's sort of like the parade and the joy of people coming together and the yellow sunlight just warming us all and filling us all in just this connectedness, you know? And then love for everybody. And this sort of like happy feeling, sort of like Grandma Raquel wants everybody to be happy. That's this awesome feeling I have. Like that sort of awesome yellow light that I love. So awesome when I see it. It's that unique thing. Oh. I still have one more image to look at. So so this is the next thing they want me to do. So this Grandma Raquel, right? A reflection of this beautiful, like loving yellow light that just comes in to touch everything, heal everything, nurture everything back to life. And now to fill these void rooms with Grandma Raquel's love. This is seriously what it is. They're all turning so full of this awesome sort of yellow, but it's so like, it's like a combination of many things. It's like Grandma Raquel wants you to be everybody to feel happiness, and love and joy and then connectedness and healing and I don't know why, but I just want to, she just makes me want to just go celebrate on Cinco de Mayo. Go be happy. It's not like about the drinking. It's just about the letting go of the usual day-to-day chores or day-to-day life and just go have fun. Enjoy yourself and laugh and be around people and be merry. But in that sort of way, the sort of Cinco de Mayo way, I don't know. But something sort of Hispanic about it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a different culture, is what I'm feeling. But it's really fun though, and it feels almost like family too. Like you could have 20 to 50 family members, and you have kids playing soccer and kids flying kites, and there's like a bunch of girls going, and everybody's just having fun, conversating, and just enjoying the family environment. But everybody loves each other and just adores everyone in the family. And it's sort of like the love of family too. So we're like filling these voids with all this sort of happy sort of reflections. It just really, really wanting to nurture loving each other, and just connectedness and family. So Grandma Raquel is just filling these rooms. She just is. And the butterfly is a reference of transformation. Grandma Raquel to help transform soul. And that is why she would come in this sort of reflection as a butterfly, because you want to feel the transformation. And it's just so much love. I'm just waiting for her to go just fill these voids, and then even to touch these memories that have created pain, the ones that were before, even put into the history books, just to fill them with love. Not to just let them go into history with this sort of, this is what happened, but this is what happened, because love filled this memory in the end. And that's what I like about it. Everything's really amazing. Wow. So this first room, right? It's sort of like, the more I look at it, the more it's sort of like a weird, odd play. Let me see. I'm just waiting for, so Grandma Raquel, this sort of bright yellow, healing sunlight, she's just on the scene. She was just there. There's sort of like, there's nothing for me to do but just see what she does. She's just sort of there, and then filling everything. But she's bending over to show me something, almost like she's picking up an animal, like a cat or something. But I can't understand what the animal is. She just tossed it at me. She's trying to help me make sense of something. I do not get it. There's just too much weird chaos and none of it makes any sense. Usually in these moments, because sometimes you see these things, it's just the weird chaos, they don't make any sense. So what do you do with weird chaos? Like, you have to alter the vibration. You literally, it's sort of like a symphony that's playing, like this weird, awful noises, and nothing blends together, and none of it makes any sense. Now you have to, you're like, it's done. Like, let's wash this all up and then let's make the right harmonies so everything makes sense, because you just have too many scatterbrained things going on, and none of them are blending together. It's almost like maybe sometimes you feel scatterbrained, and you just want it to make sense, and it just won't for some reason. This is like the lightest layer of your expression. It's just sort of all this chaos. So I'm just going to start cleaning this room, okay? It's almost like a kid's room in chaos. There's nothing really malicious about anything that I've been seeing, but it's sort of, you can kind of see that it creates stress because of how the sort of images are in motion with each other, and they're so random and scattered. And they need to make sense. So I'm taking the angel off the hook that just keeps swinging, right? And I'm just turning it into energy and just hugging it, because hug is reflection of love. So I'm just sharing love with whatever that has meaning to your life. It just showing me itself in the swinging like thing. So I'm taking off the hook and then filling it with love. Now it is turning into a yellow vapor. Every time I touch anything with love, it turns into a reflection of Grandma Raquel. Which is, she's choosing to come as yellow, an expression of yellow. And that is totally not a part of the chaos now. It's just a yellow vapor as a reflection of Grandma Raquel. Now, this girl just falling from the sky over and over again into the hands of this green monster, just like that. So I'm catching her, so she's not falling in the hands of the green and I'm actually holding her and filling her with hugs and love. And now I'm handing her to Grandma Raquel in this sort of super yellow vapor, but she's sort of standing hidden in the vapor itself, and she's just filling her with love. And now this sort of reflection just evaporates into the love of Grandma Raquel, is what this does. They're saying these are all reflections of times and places in your life. And this is how they manifest to me. And then now I'm just gonna go, and then there's sort of like kids running around and then playing soccer now. In a green grass, they just are happy and laughing. And there's just, I'm healing everything somehow. I don't know what any of this means, but it is improving. So I'm going to this green monster. He never was a monster. It seems like maybe there was an animal that was bothered, that, I don't know, maybe it was a pest or something. Because there's some other, he's something else. He's not just a green monster, he's something else. He's trying to show me who he is. There's been maybe a pest in your life, but it wasn't really a pest. He just, I'm just like unzipping the green monster costume so we can see who he really is, who's really inside. So I can't get it to work. So I'm just gonna have to just hug him. This is taking a lot of energy. We're altering the vibrations of the monster and turning it into a green vapor of healing energy. And Grandma Raquel's doing this she's helping me. She's using her yellow light to do this. And sort of like so true the colors are. It's almost like perfect green grass and a perfect yellow sun. And it just makes me think of soccer for some reason. I don't know why, but it just makes me want to play soccer or something. Kick the ball on a beautiful sunny day on green grass. And I don't even play soccer, but that is what I feel inside. So there's a kid now coming out of this green monster costume. And it just wants to go play soccer. You must have like a really busy schedule or something. But you must do something with kids, or you must have memories about kids playing soccer, or you played soccer or something like that. That's what it keeps coming up as. It keeps showing me green grass and even like perfectly mowed grass. And just kids laughing and having fun playing soccer. And this sort of, everything about this is altering. And this girl that's sort of crawling, I'm just stopping her and helping her to just let go of whatever has been this trauma. This is probably the most disturbing because everything else hasn't really been. It's just been sort of a calamity. Just too much going on and no balance. And so we're just cleaning out each one at a time. And so this one, though, really has suffered something. So she's almost like a burn victim. When I touch her, she shows me that she's been hurt really badly. Some sort of trauma. Each one of these is a reflection of some memory. But when the memories are healed, they come to me as sort of happy kids playing soccer. She's really sad. She's really hurt. I'm just holding her, and then just sort of putting my hand through her hair, just to be nurturing, or to let her know that she's okay. They always they have this it's like a 5-year-old girl, and this, there's something about that girl that was trapped, that died. The one from the snowfall, and the angel was there to hold her. It was almost like, there was a tragic accident. They're saying that was one of the events. These two souls have had sort of life histories where they've been ripped apart. And because of their love and closeness, when the bond breaks in such a way as it's like calamity happens in the physical, it is like the souls are ripping in half, when this happens. And so the mother is just so in pain because of this, the loss of the child. But the soul connection is literally so suffering when they lose each other, in these sort of ways where they don't get to, I don't know, prepare for the death or whatever. So, okay, so my video is kooky. Let's just, I'll come right back. I'm sorry. Let me fix this.